Let's get real for a second. How many times have you caught yourself bending over backwards just to keep a man happy? Sacrificing your time, your dreams, your self-worth, all for someone who probably wouldn't skip a video game session for you. We've all been there. It starts small, compromising on dinner plans, brushing off something he said that made you feel small, justifying red flags because he's had a hard past. But let me stop you right there. Being in love, or even just deeply into someone, doesn't mean you should lose yourself in the process. So here's your wake-up call. These are 9 things no woman should ever do for a man, not even if he swears he's not like the others. Because the right man won't even ask you to. 1. Shrink yourself to fit his ego. There is nothing noble or romantic about making yourself smaller so a man can feel bigger. If you've ever caught yourself pretending not to know something, playing down your success, or laughing off your intelligence just so he doesn't feel less than, stop. This isn't a partnership, it's a performance. A man who truly respects you will want you to take up space. He'll love the fact that you speak your mind, stand tall in a room, and know your worth. Any man who's threatened by your confidence isn't a partner, he's a project, and you're not in the business of fixing egos. You shouldn't have to pretend to be helpless to feel loved. You shouldn't have to wear humility like armor just to protect his masculinity. If your power offends him, that says more about him than it does about you. 2. Abandon your dreams for his. Love does require sacrifice, but sacrificing your entire future for someone else's ambition is not love, it's erasure. Too many women put their dreams on pause for a man's career, needs, or insecurities. You say no to that job abroad because he doesn't want you to move. You pass on grad school because he's not sure about the distance. You take a backseat while he builds his empire, promising that your time will come. But here's the truth, if he truly loved you, he'd want to see you win. Your dreams are not side quests, they're part of who you are. Never let love become the reason you abandoned your own path. If your goals are always the ones that get delayed, reevaluated, or sacrificed, ask yourself, is this really a partnership? 3. Excuse bad behavior because he's stressed. Everyone has bad days. But bad days do not give anyone permission to disrespect you. Period. Emotional neglect, mood swings, silent treatment, harsh words, all under the banner of, he's going through something. That's not a relationship, that's emotional manipulation. You are not a punching bag for his unresolved trauma. It's not your job to absorb his moods or endure his mistreatment because he's not himself lately. A man who respects you will find a way to communicate even when he's hurting. He won't make you the collateral damage of his bad mood. Love doesn't hurt like that. Don't stay just because you see his potential. What matters is how he treats you right now, on the hard days, not just the good ones. 4. Change your body to make him stay. Your body is not a negotiation tool. You are not an object to be altered based on a man's preferences. If he's dropping subtle, or not so subtle hints about your weight, your style, your skin, your shape, ask yourself this, would you ever do that to someone you love? When you start changing your appearance just to meet someone else's expectations, you're not growing, you're disappearing. Yes, it's normal to want to look good for someone you love. But that should come from self-love, not fear of rejection. Any man who says, I'd love you more if you lost a few pounds, or, you'd be sexier if you dressed like this, isn't interested in you. He's interested in a curated version of you that fits his fantasy. That's not love, that's control. 5. Be his therapist, his mother, and his life coach all in one. You can support your partner. You should. But there's a fine line between support and emotional labor. If you're constantly the one helping him process his emotions, unpack his trauma, find direction, or manage his life, you're not his girlfriend, you're his unpaid therapist. The problem? While you're pouring into him, who's pouring into you? If you're always emotionally drained, it's because the relationship is one-sided. Growth is his responsibility, not your job. Encourage him to get help, yes, but don't carry the weight of his healing. You didn't break him, so you don't have to fix him. You deserve a partner, not a patient. 6. Ignore your gut instincts to keep the peace. That gut feeling you have. It's there for a reason. Your intuition is your most powerful tool. But so many women ignore it in the name of being cool, easygoing, or not too dramatic. You sense that something is off, his behavior, his words, his energy, but you brush it aside because you don't want to start a fight or seem insecure. But here's the truth, ignoring red flags doesn't make them go away. It just delays the fallout. A man who's worth your time won't make you question your sanity. He'll be transparent, consistent, and honest. If he's always leaving you confused, doubting yourself, or second-guessing your worth, that's not a relationship. That's emotional chaos. Trust your gut. It knows the truth long before your heart catches up. 7. Apologize for having standards. You want communication, respect, loyalty, consistency. That's not being demanding. That's the bare minimum. Don't let anyone convince you that your standards are too high. What they really mean is, they're not willing to meet them. The wrong men will try to shame you into settling. You expect too much. Relationships aren't perfect. You'll be single forever if you're that picky. Lies. Your standards are not the problem. People who can't meet them are. You don't lower the bar just because some can't jump it. Keep your standards high. The right man will rise to meet them, and thank you for not settling for less. 8. Chase him when he's pulling away. When someone pulls away, it's tempting to chase. To double text. To over-explain. To prove your worth. But here's a hard truth, love shouldn't feel like a one-woman show. If he's constantly disappearing, giving you crumbs, or acting hot and cold, you don't need to chase him, you need to choose yourself. Let people go. Let him walk away. Because the more you chase, the more you teach him that he can mistreat you and you'll still show up. That's not love. That's desperation in disguise. The right man won't confuse you. He won't make you guess. He won't leave and expect you to follow. He'll stay. 9. Fall in love with his potential. He's not emotionally available now, but he's working on it. He's not consistent, but he means well. He doesn't treat you right, but he has so much potential. Stop. You're dating what is, not what could be. Potential is a dangerous drug. It keeps women stuck in situationships, waiting for a man to finally become the person he keeps promising to be. But here's the catch, not everyone reaches their potential. And even if they do, it doesn't mean they'll bring you with them. Don't be the woman who invests years into a man's future while ignoring your present pain. A man's potential means nothing if he's not showing up for you now. Loving someone should never mean losing yourself. If you find yourself constantly explaining, justifying, or doubting who you are in a relationship, it's not love, it's a warning. You don't have to be less to be loved more.